Hi, hello, and welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. We are still waiting for the big tournament in the States to play out, but in the meanwhile we've got a lot of good games, and although all of the upgrades for the latest tournament, the AIIDE, have been submitted, I fear it's been a quiet week. I had some recommendations, so I'm very thankful for that, and well, I will be able to cast all of them. We are starting out with a game of Egbert versus Eric Hammer, and let's see how Egbert is doing. It's a bit of an up and down kind of game, sometimes really macro hungry and sometimes trying to do things the cute way, but this game we are seeing not a very heavy bio commitment, but some marines and a quick factory, and here comes, I think, another... oh, a starport. Oh, hello. At the other end of the map we've got good old Eric Hammer, and Eric Hammer was a little bit late with Sunkens, but now there are quite a number and some Hydras. So these vultures, losing 2 vultures for basically nothing, that's not the best. And Eric Hammer appears to be going for some kind of a lurker build, with a lair coming up, some Hydras. And now we've got one more vulture. Will it suicide again? Yes, it will. Oh, well, we've got a Wraith as well. That's always good to see, a Wraith. And will we have more? We will have more. And we've already got 2. So with the Hydras, I think that... oh, 3 Wraiths already. How many starports? We've got 2 starports with control towers. So that might be... well, will probably be interesting. And the 2 Wraiths are trying to cancel the construction of the mineral only, but that will take a while. And meanwhile this vulture is very, very seriously committed to get itself killed. And the Hydras, they can't really make up their mind. Should they move out? Or should they do something else? And meanwhile these Wraiths, they do a little bit of damage. They kill an Overlord, that's good. And I think that Eric Hammer can't really defend well at this point. This small excursion of this handful of lings doesn't really appear to be all that dangerous, and the Hydras, they get called back all the time to help and deal with the Wraiths, and the Wraiths are going after the workers. And that's a worker killed, already got an Overlord, done some damage. And these Hydras, they just can't get anything done. 3rd started for Eric Hammer. And these Marines, of course, have got things well under control. 1 Overlord and a handful of Zerglings with a couple of Hydras. Oh, and that's a stim, but where are the medics? Oh, there is a dropship, always nice to see, and here is the medic. So, although a little bit of an unorthodox build, it's okay. Oh, and that's not good, because you'd ideally like to have a spore colony, and these 2 Wraiths, they do such a tremendous amount of damage. Oh, there is a spore, that's good. And one of the Wraiths caught one, but would be nice to have one here as well. Meanwhile, 3rd base completed, 4th base started, and now the bio train is on the march with the science vessel, and these Hydras are pretty suicidal, but with all these Sunkens over here, might work. There is a Muta now, so that's good. And the science vessel is really looking to get some spore fire. And I think that this bio push, unless the fire bats are going to do something astounding, but the DPS of these Sunkens is just too big. So Zerg, although still getting owned here at the mineral only, is holding the base defense in order. 2 bases for Egbert, and here the 3rd base is sort of operational with a couple of drones, and Eric Hammer really lacking more in base. Oh, and the Wraith gets caught, so only 1 Wraith remaining. And the Hydras appear to have got a bit of a... oh dear, oh dear, they're going after the science vessel, but they are dying to the bio, so that's not good. Nice irradiate on this 1 Hydra. And this bio army of Egberts is doing really rather well. This drone will get out, that's nicely done. And the science vessel suicide, so Egbert doing well, but having a little bit of an issue with suicidal units. And meanwhile Eric Hammer is tacking up like a madman. So that's good, and this Wraith is still over here doing stuff. That's... oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, that's a lot of damage. But now, we've got... oh, I heard that. That was the dropship. And the dropship is going to take the island base. Oh, that's very nicely done. So, first bot to do that, congratulations, and hope many more may follow. Will add a nice, interesting dynamic to the game. Meanwhile, the mineral only has been defended against the Wraith, so the Wraith has buggered off to the Eternal Hunting Grounds, or I don't know where. And now the Bio Army is gathering steam. Let's look at the upgrades. Oh, quite good upgrades, and the Zerg is really lacking that department. And the Irradiate doing tons of damage. The Science Vessel suiciding again though, but this Bio push might just cut this entire thing to shreds. And once the Fire Bat is dead, I think that these Zerglings should help him defend. Otherwise, this Marine army will just plow through, and Arakawa can't get a fighting force together. And that is broken, and the army consists of 11 supply, and that's not a lot versus a stimmed, medic-supported army. Oh, we've got a Defiler and an Ultra Cavern, but we've got no army, so that's that, as they say. Work production has commenced, and one will have start mining, but otherwise not too much happening. Oh, and we see that over here as well, some of the workers just falling idle. That's not good, but the infantry has things well under control. Oh, and another base is taken. Of course there are Scourge overhead, but doesn't really work that way. And setting workers to work is really not Egbert's forte, but I like that. The Bio Army is pretty good, and although the Science Vessels are pretty suicidal, that's the good game versus Arakawa. That's nicely done by Egbert. Congratulations. So, next game up. Or should I do this one, or do that one? Okay, then I'll be done with the recommendations for today, and I can better have them out of the way. So, Banana Brain, of course, has been updating, and Crazio as well. Oh, what's this? It's a pylon. And it's a very in-your-face-ish thingy. That's really the ugliest proxy 2-gate you've ever seen, and Crazio is right on time with the, I think it's the bunker. Oh, it's another depot, oh god. And now the Zealots are there. Oh, and the bunker is here as well, and the Marines don't really have got a clear concept on how they've got to position themselves. Banana Brain is going for some tech at home, that might be good. And the repair is on, and now the Marines do come into play, and they keep blasting at this poor hapless Zealot. Two other Zealots have found the scouting SUV, and Crazio behind that is starting a factory. So I think that once the factory is done and Crazio doesn't make too many lifting errors with the barracks, i.e. let a lot of angry Zealots in. Oh, and this is good. So with the repair and the bunker, I think that Banana Brain had better abandon this ploy of trying to break this wall. Although with the goon might do a lot of damage to the workers. And yes, Crazio in a bit of a bind. Now going for, I think, a tank. But will that tank be on time? Because so many workers will fall due to this excellent goon pressure. And behind that, another base for Banana Brain. And going for, I think, a forge or some kind of DT tech. And now this depot's under pressure, and Crazio's working numbers are plummeting. There is one tank, but there is no siege mode. Crazio's out of money, and this tank can't really reach the goons, so that's Crazio in a little bit of trouble and losing more workers. And this tank, the micro, is just not there. It keeps bumbling over here, while it should be more over here and shooting these goons. And meanwhile, the worker count for Crazio is falling precipitously. And what more is coming? Oh, siege mode. Finally, Crazio deciding, well, with siege mode I can perhaps hold this. Meanwhile, worker levels are falling rapidly. 15 versus 32 of Banana Brain, and Crazio, if Crazio survives, it will have to play a hell of a game. Oh, and here is the tank, and the tank starts laying down the law on these poor hapless goons. And I'd say that right now this push is deflected. The tank racking up some kills. Banana Brain had now really better, or perhaps not. If it can kill a couple of more workers, it might be in a good position. And Crazio attacking very hard of only 13 workers. Third base already started for Banana Brain, and now some forces being ferried in from the rear as well, from the homeland. And still these two gates are standing there, and Crazio with only one tank is having to spend a lot of money repairing this depot. There is an observer overhead, and now with 2 tanks, I think that Crazio could be in a better position. Here come the tanks. Oh, 3 now. So, yeah, good luck trying to break this. Although the friendly fire is doing a lot of damage as well, and the SCVs will have to come in again. And by now, oh, Crazy is now lifting the barracks. And these tanks better see it before Zealous walk in, but now with 3 tanks, 40 units, I think Crazio is pretty much in the clear as far as this push goes. Has been set back a long way though, because right now it's 14 versus 60 workers. A natural for Crazio is nowhere in sight. There is an abundance of technology, and the army count is... oh, we've got a shuttle, always nice to have. And Crazio finally moving out on the map with the vultures. Have they got mines? No, they haven't. They've got vulture speed. Oh, and nice kill on the observer, and the shuttle's still there. And now Crazio is trying to set up something in the way of a defense, but still only 19 workers. Where do you go from here? That's really the question. This tank is way too far out and is going to get killed. Oh no, it's not going to get killed, because these units are trying to reach the shuttle and it's all going wrong. Oh god. It's not really a matter of bringing the shuttle to the forces, it's the forces being sent over to the shuttle. So, big error from Banana Brain, and it's only to be hoped for Banana Brain that Crazio will have some kind of anti-air here soon, so it can kill that shuttle. Oh, now the shuttle buggers off, that's good, or is it going to, I don't know. And these units are still trying to get themselves loaded, or trying to get to over here, whereas I think there is some staging area, and these Terran units, they only get friendly fire damage, so that's not good at all. And it's to be hoped that Banana Brain will get its virtual ass out of its, oh no, its virtual head out of its virtual ass, and start playing the game again, because otherwise it's going to be a, well, be it funny but not very interesting game, because Banana Brain was in such an advantage, and now Crazio has got the army advantage over Banana Brain. And although there are some observers, 3 precisely, still, 2, 1, oh no, still 2, there were 4, but Banana Brain is happily macroing on, and Crazio is going to... oh, finally, the Zealots are fighting, that's good, but the army of Banana Brain is practically gone, and the Zealots will get absorbed by the vultures. Some vultures do die, 1 tank, just not completely. And now, at the bridges, there are siege tanks. And, oh, well, there is a thingy, an arbiter with some supporting units, that's good. Oh, and the Reaver. So Banana Brain might prevail after all. Crazio is still... Crazio's messing up too. I don't know what all these units are doing here, but Banana Brain has got 74 workers, Crazio not even 30. Crazio's mining out the main and still killing units over here. That is the wackiest game I've ever seen from Banana Brain. And Crazio is refusing to kill that shuttle, and there are some good arguments on that side, because Banana Brain is bugging the hell out, and perhaps because of this shuttle, lots of forces are dying. I don't know if Banana Brain really cares at this point, but yeah, there we... bloody hell, okay. So now they are going to do stuff. Oh, and the shuttle is looking for siege tanks, and if there are no siege tanks, then it's going to be a bit of a mess. Now Banana Brain is putting the stops, and although Crazy has got a good position, Banana Brain's got the map. Oh, and that Scarab just snuck through, and Crazio will have to put all the SCVs for repair once more. The main's getting low though, and Crazio is in a huge problematic situation over here. All these expansions, lots of production from Banana Brain. If we look at the upgrades, Banana Brain has got this, Crazy has got a Vulture Speed, Siege Mode and Spider Mines. And although the tank position is quite good at the top of the ramp, Banana Brain has got just too much stuff, really, at this point. So Crazio can't really get out. Well, nice repair. And defending-wise, Crazio is still doing pretty well. These zealots, even if they kill only this turret, they have just done their job. And some friendly fire to the tank. Ooh, storms, always nice. They don't seem particularly effective, but it's nice to see them going off and Crazio being pushed back. Crazio still defending with the Arbiter overhead. Crazio will have to scan. There is a vessel, but it's also, well, Crazio hasn't got the money or anything to repair it, so that's not good. And meanwhile, Banana Brain is taking more and more bases. Still all the production at the main base. Nothing over here, nothing there. And slowly taking all the bases on the map. Crazio still with a decent army, 20 supply worth. But with the Arbiter overhead, these 3 tanks, they can't keep on doing this forever, and that's 2 tanks. So right now it's a bit of a countdown rhyme, and we saw Banana Brain do a very nice aggressive opening, then go totally bananas on trying to load units into a shuttle, and now just powering through with brute force, and that's the game. So very well done, Banana Brain. And look at all these units being ferried in, that's very impressive. Energy upgrade on the High Templar. And the production tab is nice and full for Banana Brain, and Crazio is out. So, GG, next game up. And it's one more by Crazio, and if I'm not very much mistaken... Oh, should tune this down a little bit. It's the last game of Crazio, so... if you want to look this broadcast at a game of Crazio's, look at this one. And I should show you right now that the yellow Crazio still on top of the Locutus, about 70 points behind that. Then Purple Wave, so it's still Crazio, Locutus, Banana Brain, and Dacian is based on Locutus. And we've got another bot based on Locutus, it's called Sidonia, but Sidonia is really not as strong as Dacian. So, lots of Protoss, Ironbot still there, TSMU Random there, Killerbot still there. Last update 2 years ago almost, that's very impressive. Proxy doing very well. And then the rest. Cherry Pie, we haven't got the final update for AIIDE, but if there is one, I hope we do get it. And we'll be watching AIIDE to see how it's going to turn out. So, Crazio, macroing... up a little bit with 2 vultures. TSMU still doing well, and with the Cherry Pie having TSMU on its roster, it's just very nice to have. Crazio moving out though, and TSMU hasn't got a single tank, so if Crazio can deal with the mines, should be okay. If not, it's going to be problematic. And TSMU has got so many units, it just clears everything out. And Crazio still ferrying units in and moving them back and forward. So that's very relatively easy for TSMU just to gobble up some stray units. And TSMU now making more units, more vultures, and I like that vulture style. It's a little bit outdated, I'd say, with TSMU and Iron relying heavily on vulture harass. And now Crazio trying to catch some mines, and TSMU's vultures try to deal with it, but once there are two tanks, Crazio a little bit ballsy with all the non-vulture units. Now has got something of a contain, but has got no natural. So TSMU in an okay position. TSMU has a smaller army, but with the defender's advantage. Yes, the Goliath just got in the last hit on that siege tank. That's so important. If you got a contain like this on your hand with the floating building overhead, it is hard to defend. And every tank you kill... Crazy! What the hell are you doing, man? Better scan ahead, but if you haven't got a scanner, that's not going to work. And the vultures, they have cleared the minefield regardless, and now wreak havoc in the natural TSMU. And TSMU Terran is the Angst Gegner of Crazio. It's very good at the Terran macro game, but Crazio seems to have got a good handle on the show, and now it's just a matter of killing this natural and claiming the ramp so it can move up the high ground. The natural is being shelled, so I don't think that TSMU is going to contest that. TSMU has got a large army on the high ground, and Crazio can't really do too much about that. Every vulture showing its snout in the range of these siege tanks will get clipped immediately. The workers, oh, one worker does get out, the other ones don't. So Crazio in a good position, but still on one base, and should have the money. Oh yes, and there we go. Immediately as I say that, the natural is being constructed. TSMU now chasing off the floating barracks, inching its way forward to the low ground with the tank line, and TSMU defended rather well, but the tanks of Crazio were just too good, and now Crazio has got to hold on here, and I think that it is a very disadvantageous position to hold. Even though you can play quite well with this floating barracks, the floating barracks is going to catch fire, will have to be repaired or renewed, and these tanks on the low ground are really rather vulnerable. With the natural up and running though, Crazio is in a very good position. TSMU with the superior tank count has got the larger army and has got the vastly superior position. Without the floating barracks, Crazio's tanks do suffer, and TSMU hasn't got the vision, hasn't got the scan. No, so TSMU is paying a hefty price in this tank shootout, because Crazio now abandoning the contain and is trying to defend its natural again. The third up and running. TSMU immediately after it broke out restarted. Oh, that's nice. How did that vulture come here? I don't know. Missed that. Must have been a dropship or something. Oh yes, we've got a dropship, so that's good. And Crazio now with the defense and sitting back, letting TSMU come. I don't know if that's very wise. TSMU immediately starting a third, so macro-wise TSMU is... I think it's a little bit sharper than Crazio still, after not having been updated for donkey's years. Zerg last update 2017, and yeah, that was February this year, and the Protoss, the random, a little bit later. So TSMU hasn't really been updating as hard as Crazio, but still some updates from this year. Always nice to see, although I don't think it's anything major. Then again, if you've got a bot as good as TSMU, what major stuff could you do? So that's always going to be nice to see. We've got the tanks. Crazio now suffering because TSMU with these 3 or 4 tanks has got a good contain, and it's well, 4 versus 3 base. No, really 2 versus 3 base. Crazio's taken the mineral only as well, and Crazio's got a large tank count. That's very good. But these 3 tanks, Crazio just doesn't dare deal with that. And TSMU really dishing out the damage. Crazio trying to inch up, but losing some supporting units because of these 3 tanks. And the rest of TSMU's army is just not there. It's very small. And well, these tanks are now going to catch it. And although this one tank is going to fight hard, the supporting units of Crazio's will... Oh no, it's just one tank. And there we go. Mine dropped and tank shot on its tail. So Crazio freeing itself. TSMU has got another base. Crazio started another couple as well. But the army production for TSMU is really lacking at this point. Crazio's just got more stuff, has got more money. And although TSMU is trying its best, it's 40 supply down, and that's quite a lot in the TDT. Some good tank positions here at the choke, but without air cover these tanks will fall, and these isolated tanks will take a lot of damage as well. You can see that these the Science Vessel overhead will grant longer vision to Crazio's tanks, and that means that these siege tanks of TSMU are just not going to be as effective as they haven't got any air support. Now the barracks is being chased back a little bit. I think the vision will be extended by the Science Vessels anyway, so Crazio in a good position, but TSMU doing a small raid with a handful of vultures on this new base, and this one is not up for grabs. There is a tank there, but TSMU is really rather on top of the harassment game. That's good, although Crazio is harassing with a couple of siege tanks this base of TSMU as well. TSMU has got a lot of stuff on the map, but it's mostly mines and vultures, and it's not going to be as effective, and Crazio is approaching, well, is no longer approaching max, because Crazio has maxed, and is now building up resources, can replenish while TSMU can't. And TSMU is going to have to make some infrastructure to make this work. Could take this side of the map. Crazy as well in there. We've got a Matrix Battlecruiser. How cool is that? And there is relatively little anti-air. There is one Goliath, one Marine, and this Battlecruiser just doesn't realize it. Doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with the Goliath. Now that's something that TSMU might still improve. Not only use air units for some harass and sniping, but just for a mainstay battle experience. It's only one badly damaged Marine and a Goliath. So this Battlecruiser with imperfect micro, it could not really out-micro the Goliath, but the Marine it could kill, and then you've only got to snipe the Goliath and not... Oh dear, that's now too late, because these two turrets... Oh, and a worker transfer. One worker arriving here, that's very great. Oh, tank eating a mine, but you can see the general tendency. Although TSMU's army is recuperating somewhat, was 40 supply earlier, Crazio is all over this. It's blanketing the map in turrets, in tanks, in mines, and is replacing units at a prodigious rate. And TSMU is also building 1 or 2 units, but TSMU hasn't really got the gas anymore. So that's TSMU is basically starved, and Crazio is going to close the net. And although there are a lot of Valkyries, it's just not going to work. Crazio's got more stuff, and although TSMU's got a good position, it should move over here and clean out this base for Crazio. That should be something. And perhaps if TSMU might do some good drops, 4 or 8 vultures over here would wipe this base clean off the map. Same for this base, and only the old bases have got a tank for defense, not all of them. So you can see there is still room for improvement even on a good AI like TSMU. Crazio meanwhile macroing happily onward, and oh dear, the Matrix Battlecruiser is there again. But what can you do? The army difference is too big, and TSMU is at 80 and is back at the rampart, so will suffer minor losses all the time. And this expeditionary force is still there, but TSMU hasn't really got the grit to wipe out this base with the 1 turret, 1 tank defense. And Crazio meanwhile killing some workers as well. That's very good. TSMU reacting quite rapidly and building some more army. So TSMU's army has really been given the chance to build up, even with a vast economic deficit. And TSMU has got this good position over here, still with the large minefield, although Crazio has just got more. And now, although this wall of tanks is very daunting to Crazio's tanks, and these air units take the occasional pair of rockets from the Goliaths, it's not as bad as it seems, but TSMU just hasn't got the money anymore, hasn't got the gas. And a couple of more tanks might have done wonders. Just snipe the Goliaths and take over the air dominance with, oh, here we go, 2 Battlecruisers, that's 3 Battlecruisers, that's very good. And TSMU is really hanging in there, but the fact is that TSMU is starved. It's only got this little bit of minerals left. Crazio has got a huge bank, and importantly has got a lot of gas. So TSMU now with the 3 Battlecruisers trying to do its worst, but Crazio has got a large tank contingent, and it now is going full Goliath to help deal with these Battlecruisers. And the Battlecruisers it may deal with, but the tank count is getting very, very low. You can see that here. Crazio has got 20 tanks, 16 Goliaths, and is producing a lot of oh, it's Battlecruisers too, so this TVT is really getting into the late stage of play. Unfortunately, TSMU is out of money and Crazio's got the map, so otherwise it might have been interesting. There is a small position over here, 1 tank, very badly damaged, so perhaps TSMU can exert some pressure with that over here with a couple of matrixes. But I think all in all, Crazio's got this game tight, and here come the Battlecruisers of Crazio's, and TSMU's Battlecruisers are too damaged. They cannot compete. And once the 5 Battlecruisers of Crazio's arrive, there is just nothing left. There is 40 army supply, And that's all over the map in one tank. Couple of battle cruisers. Oh, the battle cruiser should come and help out here. Might be interesting, but TSMU forsaking its main base and is trying to regroup something here, but there is no money there as well. There is one SCV, there was one Vulture, but it got killed, and Crazio building more turrets. It's really astounding the amount of money Crazio is spending on turrets. Of course it will ground vision. And here goes the main command center. TSMU is completely starved, 0 money left. And no, that's Crazio's. And so TSMU is starved out of this game. Goes for the GG, and that was that. So, yeah, there we go. And next game up will be Microwave versus Sijishu. We've got an update of Microwave, so that's always nice to see. And let's see how this build order is going to unfold. Yes, there we go. We've got Hatch Before Pool by Overkill. Bot's called Overkill and Microwave's called Microwave. Microwave arriving with a lot of lings and is going to do a lot of damage. And in base, third at the ramp, perhaps could make a sunken over here. The lings of Overkills arrive right on time. And because the grouping of Microwave is not as good, these Zerglings can be chased home for a long time, and of course now we've got a sunken. So I'd say that Overkill's coming out ahead, although Microwave has got the larger army. The drone count is almost double for Overkill, now building another sunken. Of course, if you haven't got the army, you should do that. But with 2 sunkens, it's really hard to break with only Zerglings if you've got a handful of lings defending as well. Meanwhile, Overkill is going for a Spire, and Microwave is going for a Spire as well. Oh, and an Evo, that's good. So this is some next level ZVZ. Spire for Overkill is done. Spire for Microwave still prepping. And Microwave's only got 1 base and an exposed lair. So that's going to be bloody. The first muter is not sent out to help and defend against the Zerglings. That's going to be very tight, but the Sunks will have it in the end. And is trying to harass the workers, but with that sunken there, it's not going to work all that well, and now it's going to find a softer target to bug up. So now we've got spores in both bases, and Overkill's got 25 workers versus 13 of Microwave. Microwave still hasn't got a natural. So you can sort of see where this is going, unless Microwave will get a natural soon or does something really good in the muter battles, and this muter is going to get caught. Will it get out? No, it will get killed, and the muter battle is on. Army-wise, Microwave's doing okay, going for a sunken, or is it going to be another spore? I don't know. And the muters, they pass each other, and again it's Overkill losing a unit. Oh, and it's going for the spore in the main, and now that must be a spore as well if it's being targeted like that. Yes, so Microwave defending very well. And Overkill starting, did start a third, but it got cancelled by the Zerglings, that's good. So Microwave very tenacious, hanging in there. And Microwave getting ahead in army, and that's a large muter cloud, and Overkill just can't afford to lose as many muters as it does. So Microwave getting ahead in the muter count. Third base not restarted, that's still Overlords. And although Overkill's got nearly 40 workers, and now restarting the third, and this one is going for another hatch. If that stuff gets up, it will spell, oh dear, Microwave winning the air battles though, and these muters, they are going to hit another couple of muters, and if they're not very careful, going to hit a spore as well. So the concept of gathering an army until it's about as powerful as your enemies is not really there for Overkill. You could build a couple of sunkens and just gather your muters over there as a safe zone. Meanwhile, Overkill is being chased by this vastly superior muter force. Upgrade-wise, nothing too spectacular. Sujashu is trying to switch to Hydra. I don't know, that might be good because it would sort of negate the Muto weapon. And the Lings are all gone. Microwave going after a third natural, but the third 4 overkills up, and now it's going to be populated. Oh, it's now found, and the Mutas immediately switch course, and there are no sunken. So these 2 Hydras are cat food, and the Muta count is really spectacular. The Mutas are taking on the Hydras head on and are winning. That's very spectacular. Lots of Mutas, and now are going after this area over here with the sunken. The Mutas do take a bit of a pounding, but it's only 1 spore, and now the Mutas have got complete control of the natural. Another force is over here deconstructing the third, and Microwave played this beautifully on the back of some bad decisions of Muta Micro for overkill, that must be said, but Microwave, as far as EVZs go, is playing really rather beautifully. And last year in our finals we had this long drawn out series of ZVZ, and it was, I thought, oh god, it's all ZVZ, but it was really rather good, with Cherry Pie coming up on top over Killabot. And 1 spore and a handful of Hydras is now holding the fort for overkill. And these Mutas are doing so much damage, it's just not fun anymore. More Mutas being sent over. Are we having any upgrades? Our air armor is going to be built, and Overkill losing a lot of workers. So Overkill now at a huge worker deficit, and the third base has been stamped out once more. Lots of defensive stuff at the natural, and really slow to take a third as it was slow to take a natural, but here come the Mutas and are going after the spore. Will micro it down, some drones fall in the process, and Microwave taking the game over Sujashu. Let's have another Zerg. It's Steamhammer, and Steamhammer by J. Scott. We'll have to see what it's going to do, as Zerg is really hard to keep up with all the big Protoss and the big Terrans. They are so powerful, but if you play a good Zerg game you can be very effective, and as Steamhammer is one of the big Zergs, let's see how this is going to turn out. Banana Brain starting out with a 2-gate. No, that's Island. So that's always nice to put a bit of pressure on the Zerg. And the first Zealot is going to stay home and defend. They are going to... are they stuck? I don't know. Yes, there you go. So 4 Zealots gather up and then they go after the Zerg. And if you are going to do that and see them with your Overlord, as Steamhammer just did, the time is now to plant down 2 Sunkens immediately. Just 2, if you know the enemy's going for the 2-gate. Or perhaps might just wing it with 1 and some Zerglings. Might be better, but really rather tight. But of course, I think if you can fight with your Lings and your Sunken, you might do well. And now if you see more Lings coming, you should try and get another Sunken. And that's exactly what Steamhammer does. So Steamhammer, with the nice round, kills the first 3 Zealots, and now is going after the remaining 2. So I don't know what this Zergling is going, but so far beautifully played by Steamhammer. Worker balance is there. We'll have to build another in-base hatchery. It's coming up, so not much fault to find with Steamhammer's play, have I. And Banana Brain is put on the defensive with more gateways coming up, and of course the Cyber Core, so we'll perhaps start some goons and some Corsairs, which are very effective versus Zerg, because you can always harass some Overlord, get some scouting in. And the question is, what's Steamhammer going to do? Steamhammer is going to defend with the Lings, and oh, look at those 2 Zerglings here. They've just been retreated before they died, and now are going to catch this poor hapless Zealot. Have got speed, will have +1 soon. Banana Brain is trying to establish a natural, but will have to work hard for that, as there are more Zerglings on the way. And Steamhammer's attacking really hard. Drone count really rather low. Has got the in-base hatchery, but really ought to start a 3rd or build another hatch, because Oh, there we go. No, and the micro. Oh, these links are pretty low. And now the Corsair is out, so I think that some defensive measures should be taken. And this is not one. Nice spinning micro by this Overlord, but it's not going to help you at all. And the Hydras should defend the Overlord as they now do. Second Serre arriving, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Hydras are badly microed and the Overlords are taking a lot of damage. So that's not good. Banana Brain getting some back, and of course with the natural established, the worker count being nearly double that of Steamhammer, Banana Brain in a good position. The Overlords are now all hovering over the Sunken. That's, yeah, the Spore, I should say. That's good. Might have another Spore over here just for good measure, because now Steamhammer's really locked in its base, and although it can probably defend versus the Zealots, oh, pretty effectively so, it's really now on the defensive, and Banana Brain is taking the opportunity to place a third Nexus. So, yes, here you can see more gateways coming, Corsair production continuing. Oh, sorry, not too fast. And the Serres are still there. The Scourge are there, but the Scourge micro seems to be rather defective. Not to put too fine a point on it, the Scourge are pretty retarded. And the Corsairs are doing a lot of damage to the Overlords, which are trying to move out, but every time they encounter a Corsair, you should not fly into Corsairs. It's not good for your health, and the Scourge, they try to get something done, but the Serres are too well microed. And here come the Zealots. There is a Lurker, so the ground-based army of Banana Brain will have a hard time. Still, oh, the third is now up, but 70 versus 28 workers, that's not good at all. And the ground-based army of microwaves is very, very, very small. It's only 4 supply worth, and Banana Brain has started 4th, transferring workers all over the place, 2 forges spinning, and lots of gateways. Still only in the main base, but for now I think it will work. The Corsairs are doing massive amounts of damage, and Steamhammer just hasn't got the right answer. Oh, that was a Scourge hit. Oh, that's very nicely. The Scourge are a bit hit and miss, and if they hit, they suicide themselves and kill a Corsair. But otherwise, it's like that, and it doesn't really work. Oh, and there they kill one. So it's hard to predict what the Scourge are going to do. But right now, Steamhammer is on the defensive with 32. Oh, 4th base. That might be helpful. With 2 spores, the air weapon of Banana Brain is being contained. But look at all this army. It's 80 and 90 versus 13 army supply. All the bases are now defended by cannons, and here comes the hammer, which will put the brakes on. Oh, look at these storms. The storms are pretty good. Not going to help against the Sunken, of course, but here we go. Here come the Zealots, and the Zealots are going to find this base completely defenseless. And although the 4th is sort of up, it is going to be hard going for Steamhammer from here on. Oh, here comes the cavalry, and lots of upgrades by Steamhammer, but no army. And that's that might be balanced a little bit differently. I'd like the early game by Steamhammer. Very nice defense against the 2-gate. Lots of pressure being brought to bear on the Protoss, but then completely lost the initiative due to the containment with the Corsairs. And although this one Lurker is doing what it can, there is just too much stuff. It's a Lurker versus 100 army supply, 125, and generally you need to be one very godly Lurker to help stop that. So, yeah, well, this base will still have to be found. Is there an observer at all? Yes, there is. Oh, there it is. Nice storm on that. And okay, that's the GG. Another update was Pineapple Cactus versus Ice Lab, and Ice Lab's still pretty good. And let's see how Pineapple is going to handle. Because last week or 2 weeks ago we had a game of Pineapple and it didn't really win against Ice Labs. Got crushed by the tanks in the end. So that was really unfortunate. Now Ice is going for another bunker, I believe it's going to be. So defensively very nice. 2 bunkers full of Marines, Comsat, and now is going for some mech units. And Pineapple is still on 15 workers, so very quick muter thing, but here is the thing. Ice has been trained to fight of the Berkeley Overmind, so every time it sees muters or it suspects muters, it will do something like this, and if the muters will attack it head on, that's basically free points for Ice. Now Pineapple, what are you going to do? Build more muters by the looks of it, and nothing much else. That's a huge amount of minerals. Is there gas at all? No, there is no gas at the natural, so basically this is a 1 gas 2 base muter play, and I fear that Icebot is not going... Oh, now it's going to do something else. That's good to see, but I think the hiatus in playing time is going to cause it irreparable damage. Lots of hatches, even a 3rd, that's good. But Ice is starting the 3rd as well. Has mined out the neutral minerals, that's very well done. Ice is such a work of art. And now Ice will have access to the income of 3 bases, albeit... No, that's not a mineral only, that's got a gas. So 3 versus 3 base with a worker deficit of, well, at least 30. As a Zerg, that's going to be pretty hard. And Ice has got a lot of money in the bank. And by God, I do not know why it's not building anything. No combat units. And the same is happening at Pineapple's end of the map. And why is Ice not building? Is this game crashing? Is it no longer possible to build combat units? Oh well, there are some here. And a lot of SCVs are getting killed, but this is pretty wacky. Both players completely refraining from any combat units. And I must say, I haven't seen a game crash in ages, so that's pretty weird. We've got a Great Aspire. Oh wait. There is army. But no armies being built. So Zerg has got a lot of tech, a lot of workers. More than Ice at the moment. And Ice is just plain refusing to... Okay, we've got a muter. And a hell of a lot of overlords. Oh, and a guardian. And a muter. And more overlords. Can I see how many overlords there are? Yes, 30. And as we all know, if you've got 8 supply to the overlord, so with 30 you have got 240, 280 supply. So not going to get supply stuck. And Ice just plumb refusing to build anything. And now there are going to be a lot of Zerglings, looks like. Upgrade-wise, not that many upgrades. Tech-wise, not that many tech. But I think this is... Yeah, there you go. And the map is awash in orange. Ice... Oh, Ice finally building something. But it's a little bit late. And that's the GG. And I... Bloody hell, Ice, what were you thinking? So, that's the GG. What have I got more? Yes, I'll just work them down in alphabetical order. We got Locutus versus Cherry Pie, and I thought, well, let's see how good Locutus is versus Cherry Pie, and that is with the Locutus update active, latest update, and without an update for Cherry Pie. So, Cherry Pie going for the hatch first. Nice SimCity again by Locutus, as we've been come to expect of it. And then a 3rd base, and then... Wow. That's a pretty late hatch. Pool. But Locutus is going for a very slow game of its own. And right now we've got 1 Zealot, and Zerg has got 1 army supply too, but it's got 32 workers. and 3 bases, and the hatch is morphing into a lair. So now there is going to be a lot of units, and the Cudus has got a good setup for entering the mid-game, but I don't know if it's very wise. Oh, look at these goons go. These goons of Lecudus are really a force of evil if you are not on their side, and Zerg will have to produce a lot of units to keep up with that. Are there any Sunkens? Yes, there is one. That's not an awful lot. And these goons, they do damage by the bucket load. Look at this micro, it is impeccable. And now taking down the Sunken as well. These goons are really... oh, now they get us sort of surrounded-ish. But Cherry Pie hasn't got the army available to deal with these goons. And now some goons are getting in too close. And the Zerglings are getting in from all angles. So, and the Hydras as well. So some goons are dying, but still 22 versus 8 army supply. Cherry Pie can't get anything done, is losing a base, is losing a muta for free. Here comes some links, the goons can't micro in the mineral line, but still the army deficit exists. And the 3rd base is up, the 4th base is started, small worker transfer. The Cudus has been banking on his goons for so long, and it is completely merited. Look at the amount of damage they are doing. Now Cherry Pie has got 11 army. So doing okay, and Lecudus doesn't really know where to attack, but Lecudus' army is growing and growing, and look at all these goons. They completely dismantle base after base, going to kill the lair as well. And Cherry Pie was a little bit eco heavy and tried to get by with a bare minimum of units, and if the enemy's got better micro than you, it will end like this. So without having seen Cherry Pie's upgrade for the AIIDE, it's going to be impossible to tell who is going to win this, but the Cudus don't count it out. It is a murder machine. And look at these goons go, it's bloody murder. So Cherry Pie, no money, no drones, and that is the GG. Next game up, it's Madmix versus Prism Cactus, and Prism Cactus, we saw a couple of beautiful macro games of that earlier, so that will be interesting to see if it's going to continue that streak or if it is going to try some tech shenanigans. At the other end of the map, though, is Madmix Protoss, and Madmix Protoss is a very reliable Protoss. It's going for a lot of units. Ooh, what kind of devish plan is that, taking your mineral only first? And army-wise, Madmix has got a lot of goons, but they're all involved in the chase of the probe. And now Prism Cactus, with some added income, can try and catch up. But still, it's 14 versus 2 supply. And God knows where these zealots are going. Yeah, well, they're going here, but why? And it's 22 versus 4. And although some gateways are going to be built, it's going to take a while before a Prism can take on these zealots. But it's getting there. And with 4 gateways versus the 3, how many can you power with one base anyway? I think... oh, that's a nice building setup, nice building layout. And the Zerglings, the Zealots are as stupid as Zerglings, and they are standing about while the goons tear down the main base. And now they're going after the natural choke, or not, or yes, or... So, will we have a base trade? No, we won't, because the goons are coming back. And it's going to be impossible to call. It will all come down to micro. The workers come off the lines, and with cannon, a couple of zealots for Prism Cactus. Prism Cactus has got the natural as well, and Cactus is coming out on top. Upgrade-wise, a range versus a started +1. Oh, that's nice. What will be in that? Or is it going to be just a... oh, a Reaver. Oh, that's very good. So, abortive attack, lots of cannons and a natural, so Madmix not out of this yet, and Prism has retaken the mineral only. And army-wise, both players are pretty balanced. And... okay, that was not really the best shuttle Reaver micro, but I think that the army of Cactus is good enough to take on Madmix in a straight-up fight. And with the main running out for Madmix and the natural not really populated. Oh, here comes some workers. Well, perhaps Madmix can stay in this game a little bit longer. Army deficit is quite substantial. Another base started for Prism, and Prism is getting into macro mode. We've got 6 gateways, we've got a starport, and the units of Madmix are just flapping about a little bit too much to my liking. And now with the DT overhead and the Reaver in the shuttle, and the Templar with Storm, I think this is a foregone conclusion on who will win this game. And look at Prism Cactus macroing. It's really beautiful. And oh dear, we've got a fleet beacon, so might even see a carrier. Although it will have to be... Oh, this cannon field is holding the ram nicely. Prism can't really deal with that. Every time it reaches this point, it will retreat. And that's not really the optimal... Oh, and now it's going for it, and the cannons will sort of fall, the main is out, so this will be a bit of a battering ram approach, but as there is nothing to batter anymore except buildings, I think that Prism Cactus has won this game. We'll have to find a slightly stronger opponent for it next time. So the last of the cactuses is a Toothpick Cactus, and I thought, well, perhaps let's see how well it's going to do versus Cydonia. And Cydonia, I want to show you, Cydonia is Lacuta's based Terran, so I don't know if that implementation is working very well. Its ELO is not all that great, but let not that deter you, because we'll still have to go and see what kind of a match this will create. I'd say Lacuta's with Terran might be very dangerous. The Goo Micro though would be hard to emulate, as you have not got a comparable unit in the Terran arsenal. But let's see, we've got a lot of factories to start with, and no... Oh well, here comes the natural. I should just keep my mouth shut and let the game unfold. Toothpick a little bit earlier with the natural, and here comes some... Oh, the first skirmish is definitely going in favour of Toothpick, and now overcommitting a little bit. Nice little bit of mining up of the enemy natural choke, that's always good to do. Oh, nice hit on that tank. Very nicely done, and we've got a Toothpick with a worker lead, having populated the natural, so we'll be in an economic advantageous position. And the tank killed itself in the mine, but there are still 3 vultures, and they are going to kill quite a number of workers. Toothpick hasn't got any army. That's pretty bad, as there are a lot of vultures in your natural, and now in your main as well. There is a tank, so that might be good. But underneath the tank's minimum range, oh dear, that's very well done by that marine. And Toothpick sort of holds, but there is still a pair of vultures loose in the natural, and by now I think that Cydonia has got this lead well established. 50% more workers and 50% more army. No, that's not right. So both players make me up for the mid game, and I shouldn't try and do calculations on a Saturday morning, it just doesn't work. And lots of infrastructure being built by Cydonia, and some units by Toothpick. Toothpick a little bit behind in the army department. Worker department, it's pretty much well behind as well. So now with the science vessel, I think that Cydonia, if it's got a good tank play, it can do quite well, as there is little... Oh well, there is some air cover for Toothpick. A bit of a lull in which nothing too much is happening. Science vessel getting killed. There is no anti-air for Cydonia, so that might devolve into a little bit of a problem. Will we have some Goliaths? No, still no anti-air, and by now there are 3 wraiths. So if there are going to be wraiths, no more are under construction. These wraiths might have free hand in the game. So Toothpick going for another base, that's always good. And this push of Cydonia's isn't really working because there is no air support, and these wraiths of Toothpick, they chase away the science vessels, thus providing a range advantage, a sight range advantage for Toothpick Cactus. And here they go, after the tanks. Will we have some anti-air, please? Apparently, yes, now we'll have some Goliaths. But it's a 2 versus 3 base now, and I think that Toothpick has got the better cards to win this game. And although Sidonia is based on the Cuters, the army doesn't really look like Terran. The tanks are not sieging. There are a lot of vultures, but the grouping is quite nice too. But oh, here they go. They completely ravaged this base, depopulated in a jiffy. And that's very well done. Just ignore all the tanks, just raid the base with your vultures, raid the next base as well. You should try and kill it and take a third of your own, but that's a minor detail. For now, I think that the vulture raid is working well, and only now are you going to get contained by the tanks and lose all your vultures. So now it's 16 versus 52 army supply. This base, as it was depopulated but not killed, has been repopulated already and completely defenseless, so another batch of vultures might just run in there. But now Toothpick has had enough and is laying siege to the choke of Sidonia. And immediately just rolling into the natural, completely killing anything there, and as the main is mined out, that's pretty much the game. So Toothpick pretty well done. So, last game up, it's Lucas Moravec versus Whopper by Surenklet, and I thought, well, let's have a look at what Lucas is capable of. It might be interesting to see. And Whopper is very reliable, very defensive, and that might just give Lucas the time to unfold its game plan. We are going to see a bit of a wall-off, I think. Forge first. And Forge fast expand, Scouting SUV does not get in, and Whopper is just going to start its lumbering approach to the game. Lots of factories, lots of factory units, starting out with a bunker, very safe, and now the vultures will kill the zealots, of course, with a siege tank, with a natural. The natural of Lucas is already up and running. And Lucas is going for some very heavy gateway units. Composition looks like another factory, that's very good. But Whopper is not deterred. There is a huge minefield, lots of vultures. The vultures are not getting themselves killed, that's good. Dark Templar getting scanned and mined, so that's the deal for him. And meanwhile, the tank count of Whoppers is increasing, and Lucas ought to take another base. Oh, we've got a shuttle here. What's it going to do? Pick up a Zealot. And another one, I think it's going to try and drop. Oh, hello. There's something going wrong there. Going to drop right on top of the tanks. And there it goes. So lots of damage done. But not nearly as much as could have been done. A couple of good mine drags would have been awesome. Third base for Lucas, and Whopper is contained. Whopper, though, will have the benefit of the greater tank count in a minute, but these drops with the shuttle really damage the tank count, so Whopper might be at a great disadvantage because of that. Meanwhile, no, the shuttle, there isn't enough anti-air now, and Whopper is getting to be impregnable. Unless, of course, you were to attack the mineral. But, oh, that's nice. Small fleet of wraiths. Of course, versus all these goons it won't really do too much. But now Whopper is going to move out. And behind these bridges, it's pretty safe. Beyond these bridges, it can get flanked, and that will be, well, not problematic, but painful and cause death. And the vultures are taking some shots. Then again, the tanks will deliver some shots of their own as well. And I think that once Whopper is beyond these bridges... Yeah, one tank snuffs it. Now the shuttle dies. Should have been a little bit more careful. Once Whopper moves beyond these bridges, it's going to be nigh impossible for Lucas to hold it. Because there are such a lot of supporting units. There is anti-air and there are quite a number of tanks. Tank movement is suboptimal, and here comes, I think, the third base for oh wow, already a battle cruiser. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but you can see this front is going to extend itself and be pushed forward, and if Lucas is going to try and expand here, it's very, very dangerous. And now with only a handful of tanks, and this is a little bit of a clusterfuck, but It will probably get unstuck unless more units are coming to join the party, and we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, the battlecruiser is laying down the law, and these goons take a lot of damage from the tank fire. So Whopper in an okay position, and yes, the tangle has completely dissolved. Third base started for Whopper, and Lucas. Oh, that's a nice storm right in the snout of that turret push. The problem with the turret, oh, that's some good storming, and that's a bad place to morph an Archon. It's basically a loss. And Whopper is just shoving its iron fist down the throat of Lucas. Lucas has got a lot of buildings, but this head-on approach of attacking a turning army, it's very, very dangerous, and you need a lot of units to do that. Much better to do a flank or to drop some units over here. Storm drop there, storm drop here. Perhaps try to keep tabs on where the workers are going, because if you catch a train with a storm like that, it can be really fun to watch, as well as being greatly effective. Meanwhile, Whopper is having a lot of fun in the natural, and again, these bridges are hard to take for the tanks, but in the end, Lucas just can't take it. If you are going to only retreat with your army, you have to fight at some point, and you can better do a flank. But if you are not going to do a flank, just go after the enemy and try and hurt it. Oh, and this SCV by itself will probably have killed this. Oh no, will have been some combat units involved as well. That would take forever. And now a Matrix battlecruiser, and the entire army is on the retreat, and you are going to die here as well as there. So nice to them again. Lucas storms are okay. That must be said, although the units are a bit cowardly and well, not going to work as effectively. And look at Whopper go. Whopper is maxed of 3 bases, and well, there you go. So yes, I don't think that Lucas is coming to come back from this. Would be quite a feat. Don't really believe it, but there you go. So this was this week's broadcast. We'll be waiting for the results of the big tournament in the States, the AIIDE tournament by Dave Churchill, the organizer. So for now, I say thank you for watching, thank you for updating all your bots and submitting replays for me to cast. Hope to see you again next week. For now, I say goodbye.